Day 30 in the Big Brother UK house, and it's eviction day, and I tell you, I was shocked. Let me know in the comments if you were shocked. However, before we get into that, at the start of the episode, Jenkins was in the diary room talking about how he was making the besties last day, and I thought, this is the happiest I've seen him. Like, he literally could be going, and he's in the diary room actually looking as if he's in a good mood for once. Chanel was speaking to Jenkins and she says, I don't understand what the issue is with Trish. Am I missing something? And I'm like, yes, you're missing something, you fucking idiot. You were talking about her behind her back and you lost immunity for it. She's such a fanny, right? Like, I am not an intelligent person, so for her to be thicker than me, there is a problem. Like, reproduction should be off the cards for her. It is so clear what's wrong with Trish. And she's like, oh, am I missing something? What the fuck? Chanel was saying that she wants to talk to Trish about the situation, and she says, oh, I'm not very good at confrontation, I'm not very good at getting my words out, and Trish will just attack me. And I'm like, no, Chanel, that's not attacking you, it's called stringing a sentence together. It's very basic. So Chanel finally got the balls to go and speak to scary Trish, and she says, I feel as if I felt the brunt of you being angry. Now, the amount of times that we've seen Trish talking about people stereotyping black women as angry, she could have used a different wording. She could have said, I feel like you're annoyed with me, or I feel like you don't want to speak to me, or whatever. But she chose deliberately to say, I feel like you'd been angry. I think that she was actually trying to get a rise out of Trish by saying that. So then Trish said, I don't see why I should have to put an effort in with everybody, especially people that don't like me. And we've had these conversations before and put them in the past. And then you were saying, oh, like, forgive but don't forget. And then Chanel was trying to make out as if she wasn't even talking about Trish. And I'm like, she is a fucking liar, right? And I thought, you're actually sitting there trying to talk to her and trying to make up with her and be friends, and you're still blatantly lying to her face. Guess what, Chanel? Trish has got more than 2 brain cells to rub together. She knows you're talking shit. So Trish said, I didn't even realise you were that close to Paul. And she was like, oh, I don't really think it's your place to say how close I am to somebody. And I'm like, shut the fuck up, bitch, right? I don't know how Trish sat there with a straight face. I was sitting watching this with my niece, and we both had a headphone in each. Now keep in mind that she's 10 years old, right? So even she understands the situation better than Chanel. So Chanel turned round to Trish and said, oh, it's not as if I sit about in groups and talk about you. And me and my niece were like, what? Is she being serious right now? That's literally all she does. Chanel said to Jenkins she was confused because she'd never said anything about Trish. And I was like, are you being serious right now? Exhibit A, she called her scary in week 1. Exhibit B, she said that Paul got booed because she called him a bully. Exhibit C, she called her a bitch. And that's only some of the things that we've seen. She is so fucking delusional. It's unbelievable. Do you know what? See, as I'm actually sitting here thinking about it, I'm remembering the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard case, and I'm starting to think that she's got some sort of personality disorder. It was eviction time and everybody was shouting, get Chanel out and Trish for the win. And when Chanel got evicted, I was like, thank fuck. If I have to watch her for another week, my grey matter will shrivel into oblivion. So she went out the house and me and my niece were like, yeah. But then they evicted Trish. And we were like, shock, right? Absolute shock. My niece wanted Trish to win. Now, I didn't want her to win, but I liked her as a person because I like the fact that she's honest and outspoken. And I genuinely was shocked when they said her name. Everybody was shocked. She was shocked. Will was shocked. You actually heard Will on the mic going, what? What? Like twice, right? Yet he was in shock. And then when Trish came out the house, Will even says to look at all the signs that are for you. And it was like Queen Trish for the win and all that, like loads of signs for her. Now, normally in the past, I would say that this must be fixed. But because I've seen all the Facebook fiends talking about Trish and how they can't stand her, and I don't understand that, right? But like, there's so many people on Facebook that hate Trish. So you can't really say that it's fixed, to be honest, although it was extremely shocking. Chanel's interview was so difficult to watch. I almost never got through it. Then when she says, oh, I was ready to leave because it was boring and there was too much drama, and even Will went, oh, what, did it just go from boring to drama? Like, it didn't make sense what she was saying. She's such a simpleton. The whole interview, she was sitting like, hardly saying anything. It reminds me of that lassie on TikTok who does like the foundation lips.
Mrs. Smith?
Are you feeling okay? Do you need to go to the nurse?
Oh, no, I'm okay.
You have no color in your lips. Are you feeling okay?
Oh, that's so weird.
When AJ was asking her why she didn't apologise to Trish, she was coming out with the fucking stupidest excuses that didn't even make sense. She was like, oh, I couldn't tell her that I was talking about her because I would have got in trouble. Oh, I wasn't really talking about her. There was other people in the house. And AJ was like, but you obviously were talking about her, right? Which she obviously was. But then, once again, people on Facebook are saying AJ should have been sacked for that interview. Now, there's a few people watching this who have watched quite a lot of my videos and are quite supportive, and you will know that I hated AJ to begin with, and as time's gone on she's grew on me. But I thought that the interview was good. Chanel wasn't even talking. She was sitting there like she had something wrong with her. Like, I get stage fright, right? But she wasn't answering any questions. She's literally just like, drink her water. And I thought, is she okay? What is going on? Like, never mind getting blood out of a stone, it was like trying to get fucking intelligence out of a concrete wall. And people on Facebook were going crazy, and they were saying, oh, AJ should be sacked for that. Why was she pushing Chanel so hard? She was literally just trying to get an answer out her mouth. I thought AJ and Will done an amazing job. If I'd have been interviewing her, I'd have been like, hello, Earth to Chanel, can you hear me? They asked her if she regretted losing her immunity, and she said no, because if it was that important she could have kept it. But she was the one saying, oh, I don't see how what I said was a big deal. I don't see what I did wrong. So if she didn't understand what she done to lose her immunity, then how could she have kept it if she wanted to? The interview was actually so painful to watch, right, that I thought to myself, it occurred to me that she's Welsh, right? And I remember her and Olivia and Yinrun having a conversation about languages, and Olivia was explaining that they speak Gaelic in Scotland, but she doesn't know how to speak it. And I didn't hear if she said that Welsh was her first language or if it was English. But as the interview was going on and she was sitting there like she didn't understand what was happening, I thought maybe English isn't her first language. That's the only explanation for this. It was one of the worst Big Brother interviews I've ever witnessed. Can you even call it an interview? Somebody asking questions and you're sitting like, drinking your water. Goodbye, Chanel. Then it was time for Trish's interview, and she was smiling, she was making the most of the moment. She danced out the house. Obviously she was shocked and upset, but she was sitting there and she was answering questions like a normal human being. When she was speaking about Tom, she said that maybe Tom had asked her questions, and then when she answered, he would say, oh, I'm not trying to argue. Or if she just disagreed with him about something, he says, oh, I'm not trying to argue. And I totally understand that, because this happens to me all the time. Like, because of my tone of voice, people think that I'm being aggressive or that I'm trying to argue with them. Then she was talking about Olivia and Chanel apologising to her. And before the show came on yesterday, I seen a clip of Chanel and Trish having a chat. And I was thinking to myself, the difference between Chanel apologising or having this conversation and saying, oh, you're angry and like cowering down and acting as if Trish had done something wrong, and Olivia speaking to her, was night and day. Like, Olivia was actually genuinely apologising, but Chanel, I honestly think that Chanel was just trying to get her eyes out of her. I really feel like Trish deserved to be in the final, even though I didn't want her to win. How the fuck Chanel got to where she did, I'll never know. Obviously it's the same case as Tom, where he's just flying under the radar. But then after a while, Chanel was getting too big for her boots and she started thinking that she was better than other people in the house, which is a fucking joke. I may not be Olivia's biggest fan now, but at the start I quite liked her, and at least she's been entertaining. I've got a bad feeling that Yinrun's going to win because people on Facebook are falling for her bullshit fake crying. And I do think that she's a genuinely nice person, and I think that she's quite hilarious, but the fake crying and the fake emotions is too much for me. Like, she literally turned around to Jordan and says, oh, has the Big Brother house taught you more about yourself? It's taught me how to deal with my emotions. And I was like, if that's you dealing with your emotions, what the fuck were you like before you went in? Anyway, sorry if this video is way too long. I love a rant. But if you would like to talk more about Big Brother, give me a follow.